Hi there, I'm Drake, and welcome to another day on Dartmoor. And you find me today inside a frame. And I'm inside a frame because I'm going to be planting up some broccoli and some brassicas. And the reason for doing this is that with a frame like this, which you can buy quite cheaply actually, you can also make it yourself, of course, out of wood. But I decided to this time buy one, and all I'm covering it with is some netting, and this is butterfly netting. And the reason why I'm putting this up and planting in this spot in this way is because of something called cabbage white butterfly. And cabbage white butterfly loves brassicas. They love those big green leaves, and they lay their little eggs on them, and then you get full of caterpillars and you don't get an awful lot to eat yourself. So I get around that quite a lot in the forest garden, where I interplant it with many other things, so there's usually a good survival rate. But this year I thought, well, I'm actually going to do it this way as well. So that's what I'm doing. So you caught me today doing that, and I'd show you how to do it. So we've got the frame, that's already in situ. Simple instructions, just simply stick the thing together on these little kind of 3-bar system here. And that works really well. The netting you just pull over the top as and when, but right now we're going to do a little bit of planting, so it's pan down, and what you can see just between my legs there is a broccoli which I've been growing from seed, and it's about time it came out. And what I've done is I've prepared the ground with a little bit of compost around its roots, and so it's really good to go. There's plenty of food there for it. And I'm using this stuff which I've mentioned before, and it's a wonderful biodegradable weed control matting. And you can use cardboard, you can use any mulch, and this is purely to cut down on the amount of weeds which might grow up and compete with this plant, and also just cuts down some of the work in the garden. So all I'm going to do is, because this would obviously cover the entire plant, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through the matting in as straight as line as seems possible, and that will help me immensely in terms of managing my plants and cropping. Now there's something to note about using any ground control system actually, is that you're actually creating a habitat. And it may not seem like that at the time, and you might forget, as I have done on numerous occasions, that in creating a habitat it can be a little bit of a double-edged sword, because you're obviously cutting down competition by putting this down. You don't get the weeds coming up, but this habitat is great because it's like this lovely little space like between the earth and this is where we find little critters like voles and mice all hanging out and making wonderful little burrows. So do bear in mind that you may be cutting down on one thing, but you might have a problem in another area. With these, I think they'll be fine. They're good, strong plants, and they will just be fine. But other things like strawberries, which we found in our strawberry plot, and the strawberries have been eaten a bit by voles. So anyway, so we've done that, and I'm actually going to interplant with some of these fellows, and these are a kale, and it's called Blue Dazzle, and it's a bit like a Cavallero Nero type kale, and I'm going to interplant them, like I put one between 2 broccolis, and I'm a little bit of a hands person, and I did actually again prepare this, but for our benefit I've got a small fork here, so I'll just loosen up where I've dug and where I've been kneeling and pop this little fellow in there. Needs a bit more soil in, a bit too low down. There we go, like so, and just fill that around with a bit of compost. And this, you see, when this is all pulled tight, and I'll be putting some pins to hold it in place. So these are the pins that I've got, which are these funky little things here, and that will just all be pinned together, and that will help hold everything in place, stop the weeds getting through, and we're good to go. And that's pretty much what I'll be doing over this whole area. Now what I'm just going to show you, I'm going to pan down a bit further here, but this is the edge of the weed control area, and this is where the netting is going to go. It's going to go all the way up to here, and on the other side, on this side over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant nasturtiums. I've already got some lemon balm growing here, and this will help fill out the area. And the plan is, if all things go well, I'll just scan you up so you can actually see me. Hi there. Is to, you know, if we get rabbits, for example, coming into this growing area, maybe they'll just hang out on the outside and won't try and break through into where I'm actually growing things that I want to eat myself. So I'm going to actually plant a few of the kale out there as well, and as I say, that they may be the sacrificial kale that I'm planting. So I have a good kale over here, and yeah, so that's it. So, you know, do bear in mind your surroundings. You know, you're creating a space, yeah, sure, but there's things going on around you, and that has an impact. And you know, I've got an apple tree over here, which you can just see over my right shoulder, and of course its roots and shade is having an impact. Behind the camera over this direction, I've got a hedgerow full of hawthorn and ivy, and again that's going to be throwing out roots which will impact this area here. So yeah, just bear all that in mind, and again, have fun with it. And I hope you've enjoyed what I've just shown you today, a little bit about weed control matting and planting out in a cage. All right, thanks very much for listening, and have a really great day. Bye bye.